Everyone expected her to be just another celebrity kid walking the red carpet, but what happened when Steven Seagal's daughter stepped onto a wrestling mat shocked everyone. Arissa Le Brock was born into a world where cameras rarely slept and public attention was constant. As the daughter of Steven Seagal, the martial arts icon whose films defined a generation, and Arissa Le Brock, the actress and model who lit up screens with her presence, she seemed destined for a life of glamour. Everyone imagined her walking the red carpet, smiling for cameras and attending exclusive Hollywood events. Yet, reality painted a very different picture. After her parents' high-profile divorce, Arissa was raised away from the relentless glare of Hollywood on a quiet, sprawling ranch far from the flashing lights. While her peers in celebrity circles chased fame and fortune, she grew up with simplicity, discipline, and a sense of independence rarely found in the lives of those born to stardom. The contrast between expectation and reality became the defining feature of her early life. A celebrity kid with a grounded upbringing. Even as a child, she exhibited a rare combination of poise, curiosity, and physical strength traits inherited from her father's martial arts expertise and her mother's commanding screen presence. These qualities remained hidden from the public eye, quietly shaping her character. Yet, the world outside the ranch would not wait forever. Soon, the threats of her unique heritage, her latent talent, and the curiosity of fans and critics alike would converge, thrusting her into a new arena entirely unlike Hollywood, the unforgiving, adrenaline-charged world of professional wrestling. It was a journey no one saw coming, a story of determination and identity that would challenge assumptions, defy expectations, and reveal a side of Arissa Le Brock the world had never imagined. The bright lights of the wrestling training center glared down on Arissa Le Brock as she stepped onto the mat for her very first tryout. Despite her famous lineage, the room was filled with seasoned athletes and ambitious newcomers, all sizing her up. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Some smirked, others exchanged doubtful glances. To them, she was a Hollywood princess, not a serious contender. Laughter echoed softly from the sidelines, not cruel, but heavy with skepticism, and in that moment, Arissa felt the weight of every expectation and doubt crash down on her. Her hands trembled slightly, heart pounding, as she adjusted her stance. Every eye in the room seemed to magnify her nervousness, turning her inner anxiety into a very public performance. She struggled with the simplest drills at first, fumbling moves that seasoned wrestlers executed effortlessly. The laughter and whispers only intensified her self-awareness, and for the first time, the image of a confident, poised daughter of celebrities felt fragile, almost hollow. Yet beneath the nervousness, a spark of determination burned. Arissa knew that her journey was not about proving her lineage, it was about proving herself. The room, filled with doubt and amusement, had no idea the resilience quietly growing within her. Each stumble, each misstep, fueled a quiet promise. She would not leave that mat defined by laughter or assumptions. And as the tryout progressed, the tension built, leaving the audience on edge, wondering, how would this underestimated newcomer respond when the unexpected moment came? The stage was set, the world was watching, and Arissa's story was about to take a turn that no one saw coming. The laughter from the wrestling tryout lingered long after the echoes faded, embedding itself in Arissa Le Brock's mind. In that moment, the weight of expectation pressed down harder than any opponent ever could. She was not just any newcomer. She was Steven Seagal's daughter, a name synonymous with strength and legendary achievement. The pressure to live up to that legacy felt suffocating, each misstep amplified by the imagined eyes of the world. For a brief moment, self-doubt crept in, whispering that perhaps she was out of her depth. The easy confidence she carried in Hollywood and on the modeling runways seemed to evaporate, replaced by insecurities she had never fully confronted. Every laugh, every skeptical glance from her peers became a mirror reflecting her perceived failures. The psychological strain was immense, and the isolation was tangible. She realized that talent alone could not shield her from judgment. Yet, this vulnerability was not weakness, it was the starting point of transformation. Viewers can relate to the sting of being underestimated, the fear of failing in front of others, and the desperate need to prove oneself. Arissa's struggle mirrored a universal human experience, facing ridicule and doubt while standing at the crossroads of personal ambition and public expectation. Every whispered comment, every skeptical eye, layered tension on her journey, pulling the audience deeper into her story. As viewers witness her inner conflict, they become invested in her journey, eager to see how resilience, courage, and determination will reshape her path. The stage is set for a comeback that will shock everyone and redefine what it means to rise after being knocked down. While her peers laughed and doubted, Arissa Le Brock quietly turned inward, channeling every ounce of frustration into resolve. The wrestling mat had become more than a stage, it was a proving ground for her willpower. Away from the crowd, she trained relentlessly, repeating moves, perfecting holds, and refining her balance until instinct replaced hesitation. Her body, shaped by martial arts and disciplined modeling routines, became a weapon, but it was her mind that transformed the most. Each early morning, each late-night drill, each repetition pushed her beyond limits her peers never imagined. Unlike the others, who often relied solely on raw athleticism, Arissa blended precision, strategy, and instinct and inheritance from her father's martial arts mastery and her own meticulous discipline. She analyzed every move she had struggled with during tryouts, visualizing success, rehearsing reactions, and sharpening mental resilience. Her preparation was silent, unseen, yet profoundly powerful. This quiet determination created a stark contrast between her and the other athletes, many of whom underestimated her because of her celebrity lineage. What they could not see was a fire growing beneath the surface, a combination of talent, discipline, and an unshakable desire to prove herself on her own terms. Viewers sense her journey, feeling admiration for her relentless effort and curiosity about how it will unfold. Each disciplined practice session, each secretive hour of training, builds tension and anticipation. The stage is being set for the shocking event that will not only surprise her peers but also redefine how the world perceives Arissa Le Brock, turning doubt into awe. The room was thick with skepticism as Arissa Le Brock stepped forward for the next wrestling demonstration. Her peers exchanged smirks, whispers buzzing like static in the background. But what they did not anticipate was the storm of skill waiting to emerge. From the very first movement, it became clear that Arissa was no ordinary contender. Each step, each pivot, displayed a fluidity that seemed almost rehearsed, yet natural, a blend of innate agility and relentless training. When a seasoned athlete lunged, expecting to catch her off guard, Arissa shifted with lightning speed, sidestepping and countering with a seamless martial arts maneuver that left onlookers momentarily speechless. The crowd's laughter turned into gasps, eyes widening as she executed combinations of precision strikes and grapples that were both elegant and devastatingly effective. For a fleeting moment, the atmosphere shifted, doubt gave way to awe. Her background in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and kickboxing fused perfectly with wrestling fundamentals, creating a hybrid style that no one in the room had anticipated. Every move told a story of preparation, discipline, and determination. Every reaction showcased the quiet hours she had spent mastering her craft away from the spotlight. Viewers feel the rush of exhilaration and the satisfaction of witnessing underestimated potential finally revealed. Curiosity peaks as they anticipate what comes next. How will her peers respond, and what consequences will this display of raw talent trigger? This moment sets the stage for a dramatic chain reaction, ensuring the audience remains hooked, eager for every subsequent twist in Arissa Le Brock's journey. The room fell silent as the demonstration ended, the echoes of Arissa Le Brock's movements still lingering in the air. Her peers, once dismissive and amused, were frozen in disbelief. Eyes widened, jaws slackened, and the laughter that had filled the room moments before was replaced by murmurs of awe. This was not the celebrity kid they had expected. This was a force of discipline, skill, and raw talent. Whispers spread quickly among the athletes. Did you see that move? She's incredible. Even the instructors exchanged nods of approval, their expressions betraying a mixture of surprise and respect. The social dynamic had shifted. Arissa's credibility in this unfamiliar domain was now undeniable. She had transformed from an underdog to someone whose abilities commanded attention and admiration. For the audience watching from the sidelines, the thrill was palpable. Viewers feel the exhilaration of witnessing an underdog triumph, the emotional payoff of seeing doubt replaced with undeniable capability. Every reaction, every whispered comment, reinforced the idea that Arissa was not just participating, she was excelling, redefining expectations, and carving her own space in a world that had doubted her. This moment cements engagement, pulling viewers deeper into the narrative. They are emotionally invested, eager to witness how her peers respond in future challenges and how her journey unfolds from this pivotal turning point. The underdog's victory is not just personal. It resonates, inspiring curiosity, admiration, and a desire to follow every next step of her remarkable rise. Just when it seemed that Arissa Le Brock had conquered the room, reality reminded her that success is never without hurdles. The adrenaline of her breakthrough was followed by the harsh weight of physical strain. A minor twist of her ankle during a rigorous drill left her wincing in pain, a sharp reminder that even the most disciplined athlete is vulnerable. Simultaneously, whispers of doubt began to circulate once again. Some peers questioned whether her moment of brilliance was a fluke, while others openly challenged her, eager to reclaim the spotlight she had seized. Despite the setbacks, Arissa's resolve never wavered. Every challenge, whether physical discomfort, skeptical peers, or internal fear, became fuel for her determination. She doubled down on her training, meticulously analyzing every movement, adjusting techniques, and strengthening her endurance. The moments of solitude, away from the eyes of her classmates, were where she rebuilt her confidence and recalibrated her focus. Viewers feel the emotional tension as Arissa faces these obstacles. They empathize with the universal struggle of confronting doubt and physical limitations. Her resilience becomes contagious, inspiring admiration and rooting instinctively for her continued success. The suspense deepens as the audience wonders, will she rise stronger or falter under pressure? Every challenge she overcomes tightens the narrative grip, maintaining engagement and anticipation. Arissa's journey transforms into a powerful story of perseverance, reminding viewers that true triumph is forged not in moments of ease, but in the relentless pursuit of excellence against all odds. In the quiet hours after training, Arissa Le Brock's mindset became her greatest weapon. While others focused on visible strength, she honed her mental resilience. Every whispered doubt and every laugh she had endured became a stepping stone, a source of quiet fire pushing her forward. She reflected on her father's legendary discipline, not to imitate him, but to adapt the spirit of perseverance to her own journey. Under the guidance of seasoned coaches and veteran wrestlers, Arissa discovered strategies that transformed vulnerability into power. They taught her how to read opponents, anticipate reactions, and channel energy from criticism into controlled aggression. Mentorship sessions were grueling. Every correction, every demonstration pushed her further, demanding precision, focus, and adaptability. The lessons were not just physical, they reshaped her approach to setbacks, teaching her that ridicule was not a deterrent but a catalyst for improvement. Training became a ritual, a deliberate act of transforming insecurity into confidence. Arissa documented every success and failure, analyzing movements, perfecting techniques, and internalizing the discipline necessary to compete at the highest level. She learned to embrace discomfort, to rise stronger after every stumble, and to convert every sneer into motivation. Viewers feel inspired and engaged as they witness her evolution. The underdog who absorbs criticism, applies mentorship, and converts every obstacle into strength. Suspense builds naturally as the audience anticipates her ultimate performance, eager to see how the combination of skill, discipline, and mental fortitude will manifest in the climactic showdown that defines her legacy. The arena was electric, anticipation buzzing through the air like static. Arissa Le Brock stepped into the ring with a quiet confidence that masked the storm of effort and resilience behind her eyes. Every movement was deliberate, every stance measured, as if she had internalized the lessons of months of training and mentorship. The crowd, initially skeptical, held their breath. Would the celebrity kid truly deliver, or would doubt prove correct once again? Then it began. Her opponent, formidable and seasoned, launched a rapid series of attacks. Arissa absorbed, ducked, and countered with a fluidity that surprised everyone, an elegant blend of martial arts precision and raw wrestling instinct. Each move was a statement, skill forged through perseverance, ridicule transformed into power. The audience erupted with every deft reversal and seamless maneuver. Whispers of admiration rippled through the crowd. "She's incredible. Did you see that?" Cameras captured every gasp, every cheer, every look of disbelief on her peers' faces. When the final pinfall landed, the arena exploded. Arissa's first major victory was not just a score, it was validation. Skeptics were silenced, and admiration flooded the room. She had turned doubt into triumph, laughter into respect. The thrill was visceral. Viewers feel relief, joy, and amazement in equal measure. The culmination of struggle, resilience, and determination had arrived, rewarding the emotional investment of every moment leading to this point. This was more than a win in the ring, it was a revelation. Arissa Le Brock had announced her arrival, proving that true talent and perseverance can defy expectations, leaving an indelible mark on both peers and audience alike. After the roar of the crowd faded, Arissa Le Brock stood in the center of the ring, absorbing the magnitude of what she had achieved. It was not just a victory in wrestling, it was a declaration of her own identity. For years, she had navigated the shadows of her father's legendary fame, the constant comparisons, and the unspoken expectations. Tonight, all of that shifted. Every doubt and whispered criticism had been transformed into recognition, not as Steven Seagal's daughter, but as Arissa, an athlete, a competitor, and a rising star in her own right. Confidence radiated from her every gesture. She moved with poise, her posture no longer burdened by external judgments. The cheers of the audience were more than applause. They were acknowledgement of her journey, her perseverance, and her courage to carve a new path. Interviews and backstage reactions captured the of mentors, peers, and fans alike, cementing her place in the wrestling world. In private moments, Arissa reflected on the transformation. The fear and ridicule she once felt had become fuel for growth. She had learned the power of discipline, resilience, and self-belief. Beyond the ring, she now understood that her legacy was hers to shape, not inherited. For viewers, this chapter leaves a deep emotional resonance, uplifted, inspired, and satisfied by her journey, yet curious about what comes next. The story closes this arc with hope, empowerment, and the promise of future triumphs, leaving the audience eager for the next chapter in Arissa Le Brock's remarkable path. As the lights dimmed and the arena slowly emptied, Arissa Le Brock stood quietly in the ring, reflecting on the whirlwind journey that had brought her here. It was more than just a wrestling debut. It was the moment she redefined her own story. For years, her life had been framed by the legendary status of her father, Steven Seagal, a figure whose fame seemed impossible to escape. Yet tonight, Arissa had carved a path uniquely her own, a path built on determination, courage, and relentless effort. Her journey reshaped how fans and critics alike perceived the intersection of celebrity and athleticism. No longer was she simply a Hollywood heiress stepping into a ring. She had become a symbol of resilience, someone who had faced ridicule, physical challenges, and emotional pressure head-on and emerged stronger. The echoes of the crowd, the shocked glances of her peers, and the praise from mentors all underscored a powerful truth. Legacy is not just inherited, it is forged through action, character, and the willingness to push beyond expectations. For viewers, this reflection is both inspiring and thought-provoking. They are invited to consider the broader meaning of perseverance, self-discovery, and personal legacy. Arissa's story becomes more than entertainment. It is a lesson in courage, individuality, and the pursuit of excellence. As the chapter closes, the audience is left with admiration for her growth and curiosity about what the future holds. Her journey is far from over, and the promise of new challenges, victories, and revelations keeps viewers eager for the next chapter in the extraordinary life of Arissa Le Brock. As the story of Arissa Le Brock's remarkable journey settles in, the audience is left with a lingering sense of awe. She has overcome laughter, doubt, and seemingly insurmountable obstacles, yet the ring feels far from the end of her story. With each hard-earned victory, she has transformed not only her own life but also the perception of what it means to step out of a legendary shadow and define one's own legacy. The arena lights fade, but the energy of her triumphs still reverberates, hinting at the untold chapters that await. Questions naturally rise in the minds of viewers. Who will step up to challenge her next? How will she continue to evolve as an athlete, a performer, and an individual with a powerful family legacy? Will she face rivalries that test her newfound confidence, or alliances that push her further into stardom? The possibilities are endless, and this uncertainty is precisely what keeps the audience engaged, discussing, and speculating long after the video ends. For viewers, this is more than just a story. It is an invitation to imagine, to comment, and to return for the next chapter of her journey. By leaving subtle hints and open-ended questions, the narrative sustains curiosity, drives engagement, and ensures that her audience remains emotionally invested in what comes next. Arissa Le Brock's story is not completed, is evolving, and the suspense of the unknown keeps viewers hooked, eager, and ready to witness the next stage of her extraordinary rise.